I'm pro-life because I think it's pro-women. I think it's the best thing for our society and our families. I think abortion does a lot of harm to individuals, both men and women. I know why it's an easy solution, why it's sold as something that helps, but at the end of the day, I think it's damaging. I think it makes us all collectively more selfish, and sometimes we have to make the hard decision and help a baby, help a child. I know that can change your life, but there's lots of people that have made that decision and are much happier for it.
We're just standing here with Patricia. Patricia, what sort of bring you to the pro-life movement, and why are you here today?
Well, the reason that I'm here is because I don't believe in murdering babies, whether they're early fetuses, and particularly when they might be full term, or babies that are born after an abortion and are still living, and they're just left. I can't believe that we're in a society that would allow that to happen.
On conception, I believe that it is a new life. It is a human life, and therefore it shouldn't be destroyed. America talks about the first heartbeat. Well, if you want to go to the first heartbeat, fair enough. But it's a life that shouldn't be destroyed. It's a human life that needs to be cared for and looked after. Women, if they have a child, they really don't have a right under God's law to abort that child. That child is a real person that needs to be cared and looked after.
That's almost 10 years to fall pregnant. We would have adopted, but we weren't given the choice. There was a 15-year waiting list. We wanted to have another child, but we couldn't. So we waited 4 years to adopt a child from the Philippines. Both our children are wonderful. They're adults now. But given a choice, we would have adopted some of those children that are just discarded. And many people would. So many people who either can't have children or have a lot of trouble having children would lovingly adopt those children that they are discarded.
I'm here, I've grown up very conservative, I've grown up Christian my whole life, and so I've always just been for life, and I've watched people go through abortions. I've seen it firsthand. People see the damage of what it does to families, and they lose those children, and so I know the impact of what it has, and I know how much impact being able to see people live their life also has. You don't know what you're taking away from that baby. You're taking away God's plan for that baby's life. God has a plan and a purpose for that. Who are we to take that away from that child? So that's what I stand here on the belief on. Who are we to do that?
Also, if anyone is allowed to have human rights, I'm pretty sure the right to life is probably supposed to be the basis for that. So if we don't have a right to life, like nothing else has any sort of standing at all.
The premise of today's event was we wanted to be a voice for the unborn because they don't have a voice yet. If I was aborted, I wouldn't have had such a powerful voice. I wouldn't have been able to be here today with a broken voice from shouting in the streets. I think every human being has potential, and it's not up to any one individual to take that away from them. There are many people who would happily adopt a child, and so if there are any people who are watching this who are thinking about terminating the life of a child, I would say look at your alternative options and think about the people out there who don't have the capacity to create a life, that would be very capable and willing to nurture a human life.
Age, location, and medical status don't determine your humanity, basically, is what I was trying to say. That's it.
And just for people who are like, oh, what happens if the woman is raped or sexually abused and ends up pregnant? Number one, that rate is so incredibly low that women end up pregnant after those horrible events. Number two, I do not feel that is any kind of excuse to terminate that baby. No matter how that person is conceived, they are still absolutely worthy of a life. Why is their life worth less? Because of how they were conceived. They are still capable of love, they are still capable of finding God later when if they want to in life. They are still absolutely capable of everything that other people who are conceived in normal families are. It's just unfortunate, really unfortunate how they were conceived. But that is not an excuse to terminate because of those reasons.